By the end of this video, you're going to see how we got 100k views for one of our clients that was nearly impossible to do. Why should you listen to me? My name is Daiwat Sant and I own Spryng Digital, a content and an advertising agency that has done really well for the last 4 years. We've got a lot of customers, over 100k, million views, and build up their restaurants, their services, their businesses, their leads funnels. Everything has started working out suddenly for them, all because of the attention that we help them garner through Instagram, TikTok, or any other social media, and we share that with you. So let's get back into this. Today we're talking about one of my clients that reached out to us a few months ago, and their idea was that they wanted to go all in. They wanted to go all in because they've been running this restaurant for 2 years. They started a new location, which was all dine-in, and they had very few walk-ins, except for the ones that were their old clients or people who knew the first location and their friends told the other friends. But they needed more and more customers walking through, even though they were like in the downtown of one of the major cities in Canada. It was hard for them to bring people in. So this was their problem. The owner is not a good speaker and not a good content creator. So he naturally could not create a lot of content. But he was also not able to trust a lot of agencies because he saw that they provided a lot of offers and they provided a lot of content and they had a lot of gadgets and everything. They had great lights and they had all the setup and everything. But they didn't have one thing, which was results. Which is why we were recommended. A customer referred someone else and that person referred this client of ours. When this client reached out to me, the concern was that they wanted to go heavy because like I told you, they wanted to go all in. They wanted the attention right away. It was summer, restaurants were booming, and they couldn't afford to have less customers anymore. They wanted more and more walk-ins. So then how do you change any of that? How do you get someone a lot of views? How do you get someone a lot of followers? It's not a cookie cutter method. And that's what a lot of agencies did. They tried to reach out to my client and I was told that I had like 4 other people in front of me that had their ads running and everything. And our customer, when they reached out, they were kind of frustrated. They couldn't trust a lot of people. I remember doing the presentation and it was all about how can you make sure that our restaurant starts to blow up. Our clients start to figure out that we are in this area. How can you bring them in through the door? So I showed them what I've done. I've shown them a similar restaurant like theirs. That helped them believe a lot. And then the next step was eventually to figure out what kind of content we could make. So we started with posting some introductions of what we do, how we do, who we are, all of those sorts of videos. Surprisingly enough, when I went there for the first shoot, I remember talking to the owner. He's not someone who's very confident in front of a camera. That was the biggest challenge. And we kind of knew that because when we were doing the initial meeting, he did mention that he's not the best person to speak on a camera. But I insist on every founder to speak about themselves because in today's day and age, like everybody is relating to founders and not just AIs or like having some photos taken and posted and then who knows like what goes on with that photo, right? Like nobody has the interest in like nobody's scrolling through photos, right? It came down to this, that we were going to train him on how to speak and how to present or how to talk in front of a camera, how to not be shy, how to be more confident. And I have some experience in that. I love to do that part. So I was naturally like, don't worry about that part. I'll train you how to do it. And we got in. The first video that we did about who we are was a breakthrough. We got a lot of views. We got mostly like 60k views, and we saw some customers walk in, and definitely we had some traction. We had very few followers. We literally like 30 or 50 followers join, which was not again a huge number. And walk-ins were very periodical as well, like only during the weekends. So it wasn't a big buzz. That video didn't do much. What happened afterwards was like, we kept on working to find out if this owner can speak. And it was a very big challenge in terms of like making this guy speak because he's naturally not a very comfortable speaker. And whenever he talks, he's like very soft. We had to make him open up. We had to encourage him to like be more confident, smile more. And every time before we hit the record button, we were like, okay, you gotta smile more. You gotta be more loud. And the moment that someone would walk in through the door, he would just startle and then he would just wait and watch what this new walk-in is gonna do. Is he gonna watch him? So it was always a challenge. We had very rough time for roughly 2 months. No content was doing well, and suddenly we were seeing some negative repercussions of that in our relationship. But what happened was I went again with a few scripts, and we tried to do these scripts again. We were like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make this script as easy as possible, as like a third grader would be able to read and speak. But again, you're forgetting. Some people are just not, they don't love to do this like I do. I can yap on this camera for all day long, but some people just don't. So what do you do in that case? What I did was I realized that this person, when I'm off camera, he's a real great charmer. He talks really nicely. He shares his stories. He has a lot of stories. He has a lot of jokes, right? He had a lot of jokes about the food that he makes. Why not make some content about that? And luckily what I did was I thought of this idea after I rehearsed all of those scripts with him. We noticed that this was not going well again. He was still stuttering, and even though he was reading and speaking, he couldn't do it. We literally tried to dub his voice through AI. I have used every single platform out there. 11 Labs, tell me anything that is possible, but it didn't look or didn't sound as authentic or as crisper, as uniform as it was supposed to be. And what I did was, in that moment when I was recording, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put my camera to the side and I'm gonna eat this food with this guy. I've done this before, and I realized when I was thinking to myself, okay, let me just do this. Why don't we just talk over food? And we started that. The first video that I recorded was like roughly 15 minutes. And when I came home, I was thinking to myself, like, what am I supposed to do with this video? I don't know if this will be good or bad. But then I found a 14-second clip, just a 14-second clip within that 14 minutes of video. And it was funny. It was a great video. He was natural. He was loud. He was confident. His eyes were like speaking. He had some emotion going through. And you know what? That wasn't enough. So what we had to do was, let's say there's 14 seconds of video. And even though you think that 14 seconds is so small, anybody could like literally just get like 100k views over 14 second reel. It's still hard to get people to watch over like 3 seconds and let alone 14 seconds or any more than that, right? So what we had to do was, the first 3 seconds, obviously the hook has to be powerful. That's why I picked that 14 seconds. What I did was, until the 10th second, which is almost the video, I had every frame cut to make sure that the retention kept going, right? There was a scene of change. There was always and it's not every second, not 14 different seconds. But every time he said something, there was a cut. Every time he did something, there was a cut. Every time he said something and it was relating to something, we put a B-roll over it. And we made the viewer view it as a piece of content that they didn't have to listen or watch, but they had to subconsciously just attract into them. And that was fun. Guess what? I posted the video. Within 5 days, we had 100k views, lots of likes, lots of followers, lots of shares, lots of walk-ins, and that made the client go happy. And when we hear back from the client saying like, hey, you know what, man, that video was crazy good. Thank you so much. It brought a lot of people in. And my faith in you has reversed back in, because there's a lot of content marketing agencies. But now let's talk about someone like you. How could you do this? What's the plan in this? So the plan would be that I would want you to imagine the kind of content that you would be good at, right? If you're a content agency, or if you're like a content creator, or if you are a business owner who wants to create content, you just have to make some campaigns. You just have to understand that, hey, you know what? This is what I'm good at. I just need to keep doing these things. I cannot be learning how to make creative videos like an influencer who has like 1 million followers or 1 billion followers now. Like, I'm not Mr. Beast. Don't become Mr. Beast. You don't have to be in the beginning. Work your way around it. So be natural, show yourselves, and then you have to learn editing as well. You have to, because you can't just have a still frame these days. And if you do, then you need to have a real good script. And if you're not good at that, then have to make up with something else. This would be the plan for you. You would have to start with a good campaign. You have to realize that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. If I'm a plumbing services, I'm going to help someone fix something. Then I'm going to show how happy they were, and I'm going to show what kind of problems we face. What we do is we take these kind of campaigns and then we write down ideas every single day. Once or twice a week, we record those kind of things. This is what we do at Spryng Digital. But if you were doing it for yourselves, I would say you'd have to literally make content by yourselves. So that would have to be like every day when you're at the job, when you're taking that plumbing bag with you, might as well just make something, show the job, show the problem, show how you're fixing that, right? And just work around that, post that kind of content to show your viewers that, hey, look at us, we fix your sinks, we fix your washrooms. We could do it for you as well if you have the similar issue, right? And that goes a long way. If you have any sorts of question about how you can get 100k views on your Instagram, follow us. We would love to help you out, because I understand that when you don't make money as a business owner, it's really hard. In my first 3 years of business, I didn't really make any money. And this year, it's been great by God's grace. And I can only tell you that God's grace alone is not going to help you. It's a lot of other hard work that you have to put in. But content creation is definitely the way to attract more people so that you can sell some and make money, get better, and then keep going. That's my 2 cents for today. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs this, because I'm not promoting anything for now.